And we welcome you live to the Cougar Den. Tom McKinney Court here at Bloomington High School, North Bloomington, Indiana, where tonight it's the Battle of Bloomington. The Bloomington South Panthers travel across town to face the Bloomington North Cougars. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball here on Smithville Sports. Alongside Quinn Saturday, I am Nick Jenkinson. And Quinn, this game is sold out. So if you wanted to get a ticket to this game right now, forget about it. You're not getting in. Nothing more or nothing less to expect from a big rivalry game when crosstown rivals meet.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing is that for the first time in a couple years, both teams are doing exceptionally well right now. We'll get a first look here up at the JV teams first, but the varsity team, everyone is kind of waiting in anticipation between two excellent teams that have a combined 2 losses between them.
Yeah, South comes in 12-0. They are number 2 in the state behind Lawrence North in Class 4A. They have run through everybody. Their only tough test was Floyd Central, a 1-point win in overtime in December. Led by Anthony Leal, IU signee, and then Noah Jager, who is headed to Army. Not to mention that we got 2 more Bombas in the mix. We've got James Bomba, the 6'7" senior, going to Miami of Ohio for football, and then Joey Bomba, his cousin, as well. For Bloomington North, 9-2 on the year. Their losses come to Fishers in the Bedford North Lawrence tournament and Evansville Rides. So it's a interesting game. Of course, Isaac Venzel leads the team, but the one big thing in this series, Quinn, is that South has dominated. The last time North has won was the 2013-14 season. So South has dominated this series, winning 9 in a row, and leads it all the way back to the 72-73 season when these schools split up 49-27. So it's a big game. Of course, we've always talked about it through the last couple of broadcasts. I'm basically strapped in. Are you strapped in?
I'm strapped in.
I'm
Nick.
strapped in and ready to go here. And we're going to kick it off here with the JV teams. The lineups for Bloomington South, as we're going to introduce them as they come off the bench. Aaron Parker is their JV coach. Several assistants for the South Panthers, as you see some former Panthers themselves. Nate Peck down there, Aaron Benford, Kyle Dugan, all former Panthers. Of course, I mentioned in a broadcast a few years ago, Aaron Benford, he was a manager for the Panthers for 3 seasons, and then his final year, J.R. Holmes let him suit up, and they won the state championship that year. And of course, I know as you being a former manager, you appreciate those stories of former managers getting ready or being allowed to play. So as we are making a few announcements here, and it is going to get full in here. And here is for South. They're going to start Zach David, number 3, at a guard. He is a freshman. This is number 5, Patrick Joyce. He's a 5'10" sophomore. Bill Schultz, a 5'10" sophomore. 41 is Jordan Abner, 6'4" sophomore. Brady Simpson is 6'2" and a sophomore for Bloomington South. So it's a mainly sophomore-laden lineup for the Panthers with a couple freshmen sprinkled in. Now here for Bloomington North, they're going to start number 3, Nate Hoffman, 5'10" sophomore. Number 5 is Bryce Petty. He's a 5'11" freshman. Tyree Rochelle is 6'1" and a sophomore. Ryan Branwell is number 30. He is a 6'4" junior. And then Zach Rager is a 6'5" junior as well for Bloomington North. Jabril Conte, 1998 graduate of Bloomington North, won the state title in 1997. And you don't think he's a little amped up for this game, do you, Quinn? As a kid, as a former Cougar himself, getting ready to coach in this JV game. Of Of course, his jersey and all the Indiana All-Star jerseys hang in the west entrance of the gymnasium. So it's going to be Bramwell and Abner to jump, and we are underway here in this JV contest. And quickly, South gets started with Zach David's first basket.
Excellent start to the game. That's exactly what you want. Be able to take the kind of the volume right out of the gym of the North crowd. Granted, it's a 50-50 crowd tonight.
Yeah, it's split down the middle as you see Bramwell go inside. He gets the and one and will go to the line. Yeah, tickets sold out this afternoon about 1:30, and there's signs in the doors that says unless you have a pass or a pre-sale ticket, you're not getting into the game. So foul is on Brady Simpson. Ryan Bramwell at the line. He hits the free throw, and North is up 3-2. So here's the pressure from North, and it's taken away. And Bramwell is going to get it to Petty. He's going to drive inside and score.
Just excellent job. That was a nice screen by Rochelle, be able to let him get that nice little runner in the lane.
So 5-2, Cougars lead. David driving baseline, going to kick it out. 3 on the way is no good for Bill Schultz, and South gets the rebound. Inside is Patrick Joyce, and he gets South to within 1. 3 on the way for Petty is off the mark. Abner with the rebound. Inside, taken away, poked away. Tyree Rochelle trying to go behind his back, and he gets fouled as a South crowd thought he lost it out of bounds, but they called the foul instead. That is going to be on Patrick Joyce, his first, team second. Inside Petty, no good. As the rebound to the Panthers. And here comes South. Going to work it. Bill Schultz with it. Gets it to Patrick Joyce. 7-minute quarters here in JV action. Crowd will fill in. Joyce going to fire the 3, and it is good from the top of the key, and South's ahead.
Really nice back and forth so far. Don't want to let him get going from deep.
There's always that one kid that you wonder in JV who's going to be that X factor or have the breakout game, as Hoffman misses and Abner with the rebound. And there is a foul on the Cougars. That is going to be on Nate Hoffman, his first and the team's first. As you see, South gets it in the backcourt. Abner. There is a Joyce with it, gonna drive. Kicks it out. David lost the handle of it. Well, they say last touch by North at South basketball. So Zach David inside. Again, you're going to see a lot of where South is going to take this into a half-court game. Inside, David gets it blocked by Petty. Out of bounds, it'll be South ball. So excellent block by Petty. And you don't see any nerves so far in this game.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see a little bit, but a lot of it right now is being used towards positive energy right now. Everyone is very locked in.
South is going to inbound it. Schultz with it. Gets it to Abner. And throws a pass to David. He's got to chase it down. He's able to. There is Joyce. Approaching 3.5 to go here. Three-pointer on the way. It is off the mark. They're going to call the over the back on Abner.
Good call.
That will be his first and the team's third. And North will bring it up. This is Hoffman. Bramwell inside and taken away. Now battle for it. And then it is taken away by Joyce.
Just heads up play to see that Rochelle, I believe that was Rochelle, who was inbounding the ball, just immediately wasn't like keeping his eye on there, immediately just came in and poked it away.
Nice kind of behind the head pass to Abner, and he hits the jumper. Beautiful assist by Patrick Joyce. 9-5 Panthers lead. As that's a jump ball, possession arrow stays with the Cougars. Crowd is filling in as Bramwell gets the two inside. He's got 5. Lead cut to 2. As got Joyce with it. And you'll see a lot of this in varsity where it's a lot of half court, getting the right shot. There's a good shot there, although it's off the mark by Simpson, but David with the rebound. Nice pass inside to Abner. He can't get it to finish, but he'll go to the line.
Yeah, that was a necessary foul to prevent the 2-point bucket. Lucky enough for North, it wasn't an and one.
That's going to be 2 on Hoffman. They're going to send Jordan Abner to the line. He has seen a little bit of action at varsity, along with Patrick Joyce, and then Noah Ransom, who we'll see suit up. He's not in the JV lineup tonight. DeJuan Daniels checks in for Bloomington North. He wears number 2. And there is Abner with the free throw. Again, 10-5 between JV and varsity. You can play up to 5 quarters a night, although it may not affect most of these guys in this game.
Yeah, but you always want to have a little bit of extra in the tank, especially when you're facing your rival. Maybe you never know when you might need to dig in deep and reach the end of your bench to try to counter something, because neither coach wants to lose this game.
No, absolutely not. And for South, they've got a long Conference Indiana winning streak as well. So, this is a lot on the line tonight for these two teams. Patrick Joyce going to bring it up as Schultz has it. Simpson. And they're going to work it around. Panthers by 3. There's a steal up ahead, and they try to dunk it, and they miss it, and then he can't get the bucket. That's Rochelle, and then Rager is fouled. Tyree Rochelle tried to be the human highlight, make the human highlight reel, and he missed the dunk.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is that he hustled for his own rebound, but the rim was still shaking, so he threw in a perfectly placed layup. It's just the rim was not having it.
Zach Rager at the line. He misses the free throw. We're going to see the first substitution of the game is going to be Kenny Graham, number 10, checking in for the first time. Rager's shot is no good. Abner with the rebound.
Yeah, especially to come away with that possession with not even a single point is a really big blow.
That's huge takeaway for South. Cougars at the line, 1 of 3. So this is Joyce. 3 on the way is nothing but net for Bill Schultz. second three of the night for the Panthers.
And you're starting to see things calm down a little bit. There was a lot of kind of like exuberant energy from North, but right now South has kind of puttered it out a little bit.
Rochelle with the three. It is out of bounds, and it will be South ball. Yeah, the pace was kind of quick to start the game, and now it's, as you said, it's slowing down some. I was talking to Coach Aaron Parker, and I said, how you doing? How you feeling tonight? And he said, I'm just ready to get this over with. He said, I'm just ready to get the game going, he meant. So
I wouldn't have been surprised if the first quote was just the end of it, so I want to get it over with. There's always a level of anxiety. As fun as it is for the fans and that kind of stuff, there's a level of anxiety for players.
Absolutely. They've been thinking about this for a long, long time. And I can imagine today around school, it was amped up even more.
It was like a day-long prep rally, if I was to guess.
They're going to get the foul on Rager. So it's going to send Patrick Joyce to the line, 5'10" sophomore. And he hits the first free throw. We're going to see 40 Josh Hanna and 31 Miles Frank into the game. Now we're going to see a substitution. Grant New, number 23, in. Couple kids sick tonight for Bloomington South, so some freshmen had to move up. And then that's going to do it for the end of the first quarter. South leads North 15-7 on Smithville Sports.
Smithville Media has produced stunning and engaging features and documentaries for over a decade. Local interest stories, interviews, commercials and event coverage are all part of what we do. Let us showcase your business or create a commercial for your promotions. We can even play your pieces during our live sports broadcasts. For details, speak with a Smithville representative or email media@smithville.com.
As we welcome you back to Bloomington High School North Tom McKinney Court, Panthers lead the Cougars 15-7 as we get ready for the second quarter of play. As a reminder, Varsity will follow 20 minutes after this one. This game is sold out, so that if you were trying to get here to get a ticket, that is not happening. Forget about it. As you see the North bench and Jabril Conte, former Cougar himself, on the last one-class state championship team in Indiana in 1997. As we welcome you back, I am Nick Jenkinson alongside Quinn Saturday, and so far, Quinn, an entertaining first quarter of play between these two rivals.
North took it right to them at the beginning of the game, but as that initial energy that one gets when it comes to a rivalry game starts to peter out a little bit, South started taking control. Coach Conte will really need to get his team going. They're going to have to dig in deep and continue that beginning energy throughout this game to be able to put it to South.
As we are underway here in the second quarter, Abner's going to get called for the walk.
And that's just a simple of just keeping your pivot foot stuck, because just ended up just moving it just a little bit.
So you see nice feed from Rochelle inside to Bramwell, and Bramwell taking over right now for North with 7 points.
Yeah, Bramwell has been huge for North so far in this game, and they're going to need to take advantage of his skill set to be able to hang with South.
Inside Joyce, altered Abner with the rebound. David's going to fire a three. It is off the mark. Graham with the rebound, but he stepped out of bounds, and it will be North basketball.
That's something, a trend that has just kind of so far in the game, is that South has done a much better job of blocking out. on both offensive and defensive rebounding. North really needs to take control of the glass here.
North's got the size advantage over South. Abner is 6'4", tallest player. Bramwell goes 6'4" as well, but it just feels like he's a little bit taller. DeJuan Daniels with the jumper for North, and the lead is cut to 4. Approaching 5 minutes to go here in quarter number 2. Again, stay tuned. We'll have a great halftime feature. Taken away by North. Daniels one-on-one with Joyce. Lays it up. It can't get it to go, and he'll go to the line.
Trying to do the up and under. Excellent job basically avoiding the block, still able to draw the contact as well. You know, sometimes you don't want to shy away from contact. It's good to get contact because that can add to extra points.
And these games, especially rivalry games like this, could come down to free throw shooting. So always a critical key as Daniels hits both. Right now the Cougars are 3 of 5 at the line.
And that's a quick 6-0 run to start this second quarter that basically caused Coach Parker to have to call a timeout.
So a 30-second timeout here with 5:08 to go. As you look at the North huddle, you see Jabril Conte, and you can tell he is definitely letting his team, he is definitely fired up about this game. As a former player himself, I mean, players, I think coaches still get fired up just as much when they coach as when they played, especially coaching at their alma maters.
Oh, yeah. Because you always worry about when that's where the term, like, and it's a silly one, but it's an understandable thing. When you have an outsider come in and you have a big rivalry, you're like, will the coach grasp what it is? That's why when you have a homegrown talent or a former great like Conte as a coach, you don't have to worry about that. He knows how big this game is, and he will coach them up. And he will coach them up to make sure that they know that this game basically means
everything.
It's probably going to be the biggest game outside of state tournament that you're going to play all year.
And these two are in the same sectional, so they could always hook up once again. Of course, though at JV they won't. But that's Schultz goes to the basket and gets fouled. But no, it trickles down. Of course, you know these guys are going to play in the varsity level here very soon, so they're going to get their taste of what this is.
And with these two programs, you'll be playing a lot of the same players that you played in JV then on the varsity level as well.
As Petty will check in. Schultz hits the bucket as they had the foul up on the scoreboard wrong. They listed a player who hasn't even gotten in the game. It's Miles Frank with the foul. They had 41 listed, who Schultz hits both. 41 is Alex Ogden. He has not played in the game yet, so.
Man, I thought I was the only person to ever get a foul without getting into a game.
As this is a three-way off the mark, and North chases down the rebound. 4-point lead for South. We'll have a great halftime feature for you. Bramwell outside shot, and he nails it.
Just sometimes when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And right now, he is definitely feeling it. He's now in double digits, I believe.
10 points for Bramwell. He's got 10 of the 16 points. You see David getting it fouled. Go to the line.
And is it just me, or do you ever notice in rivalry games, there's always a higher likelihood of a player going off, you know what I'm saying, than in any normal game?
Yeah, I absolutely agree, because I think you just never know who that X factor is going to be. And any of these kids can always catch kind of like lightning in the bottle, catch fire, because, you know, they've been told all day, they've been told forever how big of a game this is. And I guarantee you every kid is fired up and they want to be that next big thing. There's a lot of guys that have played in this game, great players, and we'll list them as we go along as Rager gets the basket. But they want to add their names to that list.
But on the downside of that is that everybody wants to be the hero, and sometimes you gotta recognize, okay, this person is hot right now. Make sure that you keep feeding them the ball. Don't try to play with outside of the comfort zone, but keep on keeping what is working.
As a steal by North Daniels inside, he gets fouled and will go to the line. That's going to be on Patrick Joyce, his second, team's fifth. DeJuan Daniels at the line. He's a 5'9" freshman. And he will hit the foul shot. He's got 5 tonight.
And one more chance to take the lead.
And he gets them both. Right now, Cougars sitting 5 of 7 at the line, where the Panthers so far are 7 of 8.
Yeah, and it's the 13-4 run still. I would still count this as a 13-4 run right now. Right now, I believe South's only points in this quarter have been off of free throws.
They have 2 by Schultz and 2 by David as a turnover, and it will be South basketball. Just under 3 to go here. Jim is still filling up. Sold out tonight. Taken away. Here's Rochelle. This time he lays it in.
I'd almost take another timeout if I was Coach Parker, because this is now a 15-4 run.
North with the 3-point lead.
I would call timeout and try to set up a play right now, because things are getting a little hectic.
There is David. Left it short. Petty. Outlet to Rochelle. He wants another jam, and this time he gets it and one. And that brings the North crowd up off their feet. You see the North student section loving that.
And there's that timeout that I was talking about.
Coach Parker's had enough. He wants another timeout here. But Tyree Rochelle, the 6'1" sophomore, showing the athleticism with that big jam. He's got.
And not only that, but he also took a pretty sizable hit as well and still able to finish with it.
You could tell when he took that pass, he saw nothing but that rim and the basketball going, with the basketball going through it on the dunk. So 5-point lead right now for the Cougars with 2:16 to go. And Varsity will follow 20 minutes after this.
I hate to keep calling it a run because it's basically a quarter at this point, but it's 17-4 in this quarter right now. This is going to be a very crucial 2 minutes right now, because right now, for as much of the energy was taken out at the end of the first quarter, the energy is back right now, and South needs to zap that.
And the Cougars keep knocking down the free throws as Rochelle hits that one. Right now in this quarter, Quinn, they're 5 of 5.
Excellent job after going only 1 of 3 in the first quarter.
As Panthers working on it. Joyce gonna fire the 3 off the mark. Rochelle with the rebound. Rager, Petty 3, off the mark, and it was the foul as Josh Hanna got the rebound and will go to the line.
That's just a situation where you just get a mismatch in the post, and the 6'3" Hanna is basically boxing out the 5'10" Joyce. That's exactly the situation you don't want to be in if you're South, and the one you that Conte loves to see right there, with seeing his team after, as I was saying, being very weak on the boards in the first quarter, really coming out right here.
South's got a substitution as Hannah misses the first foul shot, missed here in the second quarter. 13 in the game right now for South is Griffin Gillard. He's got the number that Jackson Storm normally wears. Jackson Storm not here tonight. A couple of South players sick, so and that's an offensive foul on Zach David.
You can see it. The more high energy and more hectic the place becomes, now the more stress. That's another thing about a rivalry game, is that when things start not going your way, you start forcing things. Right there, he was basically trying to back his man down and able to take advantage on it, draw the charge.
Yeah, rivalry, anything and everything will happen in rivalry games, that is for sure. And Coach Conte is going to get a 30-second timeout. South was wanting the 5-second call, and Coach Conte saw it, and he said, well, no, let's get the timeout. So 30-second timeout for the Cougars, 26-19. So as we're halfway through the JV game and we're getting ready for varsity, this is kind of your first, well, it's not your first taste of a North-South rivalry game, but it's your first taste this year of getting to see both teams. What are you looking for in tonight's matchup?
Man, the last time that we did a game for South, all I remember was bombs away from the Bomba brothers, and they're back, and so is a young man by the name of Anthony Leal. So this is going to be an exceptional team that North is facing, but North has done an amazing job, kind of in a renaissance almost in their athletic department. Their football team doing an excellent job this season, and their basketball team with a lot of the same players, mind you, kind of keeping things going.
They call Rager for the travel. I think the big thing that I'm looking for tonight is that there's the matchup between Aaron Steinfeld and James Bomba inside. Those are two guys that are, as Rochelle steals it, and he slams it home with authority.
That time, South smartly said, you know what, you can have that.
I don't know that we've seen slams in JV games. We've seen 3 tonight from Tyree Rochelle. There is a 3.
And that's a huge one. That's a game changer.
Rhett Johnson, number 44, who takes Noah Ransom's number, hits the 3. There's a block. Lead is cut to 6. Inside for Bill Schultz. 4-point lead for North. Rager, bad pass by Daniels, threw it into traffic with 2 Panthers on Rager.
Yeah, just trying to force it. But yeah, that 3 is, there are an infinite amount of words that would explain how huge that is, just because of the confidence it gives you for finally hitting a shot. And an outside shot at that. Then just confidently get a stop and then stroll down and make this a 4-point game.
Man, South putting the pressure on. 12 seconds left. Rochelle, you can tell Coach Conte wants urgency. They don't really see the clock. Daniel's going to drive, left it short. Rager tried to clean up the miss and no good. We're going to go to halftime with the Cougars up by 4. On the Panthers, as we look at the highlights, there is Ryan Bramwell inside going to work. Patrick Joyce, he can do it. He can score inside. He's going to hit it outside. And then the block from Bryce Petty. Cougars defensive. Look at that behind the head pass to Abner. And then South does what South does, but Bramwell with the 3 are inside. Daniels with the bucket. And then Bramwell shows the range and hits the triple. Rager gets the bounce, and then look at this. Tyree Rochelle with the layup, I thought. And then here we go. Slam it in, big fella, for Rochelle. And then here we go, another send it in for the sophomore as we're at halftime. North 28, South 24 on Smithville Sports.
Hi, I'm Christy McBride, Director of Hoosier Hills Career Center. So part of what we do here at the Career Center is to make sure that we are preparing students for college, careers, and beyond. Our goal is to make sure that those students that come into our center have marketable, transferable skills that they can use in a variety of locations, or to at least give them those entry-level skills where they can keep climbing up the ladder and learning more. So Hoosier Hills Career Center offers opportunities for any student. Typically we have juniors and seniors that come to our program, but because we're physically attached to Bloomington North High School, we have freshmen and sophomores who come. We are seated in Monroe County, but we service Owen County, Morgan County, and Greene County. We have 5 different school districts that allow us to serve 9 different schools. So we have quite a broad spectrum of folks that we can serve here at the Career Center. We offer close to 200 dual credits completely free of charge to our students. So students can come out with a technical certificate, or if they're really hardworking and they combine their technical skill dual credits and their academic dual credits, they actually can get to an associate's degree. Last spring, we were awarded a grant that is through the Department of Workforce Development called the Skill Up 3 grant. And that allowed for us to bring the Emergency Medical Services program to Hoosier Hills Career Center. Super excited about that program, not just with the dual credits that are offered, but we've had numerous students ask about what's next. They may take a health science class and say, well, I really want to go and do something on the, what about on the ambulance? I want to work on the ambulance, or I want to work in the ER. So it really made sense to listen to the students and say, what's next?
My name is Mike Hendricks, and I'm an instructor here at Hoosier Hills Career Center, and I teach the EMT program. I started in 1983 as a first responder, and also became a CPR instructor in 1983. Have been continuously certified as a CPR instructor, and I've also been in EMS continuously since then. Been an EMT and then an advanced EMT. So the EMT course is approximately 160 didactic hours, meaning lecture type hours. This class runs for the entire school year. And by the time we have all of the sending schools come in, get settled, and then by the time they have to leave early to catch their buses, we get about 2.5 hours of quality education time in. So I try to make this training as realistic as I can, knowing that high school students don't have a lot of background to draw from. So we teach in teams. I make the students responsible to each other. A lot of the homework is taught in a team concept where they have to work together. We practice as a team, and we are responsible to each other for our actions or inactions. Because in EMS, we have to work together as a team. If we don't, then our care suffers and the patient suffers. So everything is based on cooperation and respect, as well as a hierarchy of leadership. So we also use a student team leader. So we learn a chain of command in this class as well. We have students who come in from the fire science program. I have students coming in from the medical technology class. And then I have students who come in with no other background whatsoever. When they leave the program, I have students who will go to college and use this for allied health, such as respiratory therapy. I have students who will go into nursing. I've had students go into the military and use the program there. And I've had students go straight into employment, working at a fire department or an ambulance service. And I'm proud to say that I have 2 students right now working together in Martinsville on an ambulance. So the students do get to graduate and go into real-world experience. So it's mostly high school seniors, and because of the age requirement, we want students to be able to test and get certified by the end of the school year. So in other words, we want students who will be 18 by the end of May. So the aspects of the training are, this is a fully credentialed National Registry EMT program That curriculum is regulated by the Department of Transportation, and it's administered by the Department of Homeland Security. So we meet all the requirements through Indiana, through Department of Homeland Security, and then as required by National Registry. So the students will earn their National Registry certification first, then they can transfer that to a State of Indiana certification. The testing is in two parts. One is there's a skills or hands-on portion that involves 13 different skill stations.
The nature of the testing is very different than sitting down at a computer and answering questions or writing an essay. This is how do you perform with a person strapped on a backboard or taking them from one position on the ground to a sitting position. It is just a very different type of testing environment.
The second part is there's a written test that's on a computer, and the computer is predictive in its analysis of whether a student or candidate will pass. And within the first 12 questions, that National Registry exam will know if you're going to pass or not. And it can take you from 70 to approximately 120 questions.
Mr. Hendricks, our teacher, just cares a whole lot about every single student. He wants everybody to pass. So he'll do anything he can to help.
The advantage of taking the training here in a career center setting is the students or the candidates are getting the training now while they're young, and so potential employers such as the fire department are not having to pay for that training. These students graduate with their credentials, so they're already employable. They're ready to work. EMTs their skill sets are becoming more and more valuable as the population increases and as the need for more physicians and more healthcare workers increases. EMTs will be utilized more and more. There is a definite high demand.
We've actually had folks from Indianapolis. The Indianapolis EMT outreach coordinator came down and shared with our students and was trying to recruit them because the need is across the state.
I would highly recommend this course, especially in this setting, because it is a college level course. The students get 7.5 hours of college credit through Ivy Tech. Those transfer across the state. So if a student wants to go into nursing, if they want to go into allied health, they've got an excellent start to a college education program. I've had students who've told me they love coming to class every day because it's like Christmas every day. I'm always opening some new box, and they're getting to see something new or experience something new, and every day's different.
More folks are trying to figure out what they can actually do to help others, which is heartwarming. You know, that's what we want to see. We want to grow that compassion, and these students absolutely want to do those things to serve. The ability for us to offer our students and folks from the community the stair-stepping ability to just keep going up that ladder and getting more training and going further with what you want to do for your profession, you know, that's really what it's all about.
As we welcome you back to the Cougar Den here at Bloomington North, Tom McKinney Court. Halftime of the JV game, Bloomington North leads Bloomington South 28-24. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball on Smithville Sports. Alongside Quinn Saturday, I am Nick Jackson. And Quinn, I don't think we have ever seen dunks in the JV game. We've seen 3 from Tyree, or at least 3 attempted from Tyree Rochelle, and he's got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Or no, 1 of them. 2 of them.
2 of them.
2 of them.
One of them was an and one.
Yes.
The other one, the defender said, you know what, you can have that.
Yeah, he got...
And the third one, it's maybe the craziest one because this team missed it, then the team got the offensive rebound, and then, you know, used the square on the back of the board, you know, when you're supposed to, but the rim was still shaking, so it didn't go in.
So as you see, the North student section jam-packed tonight, sold out here at Bloomington North, about 3,000 capacity, and all the tickets were sold as of 1:30 today. So if you were thinking you were going to get in at the door, there were signs on the door saying nope, you're not getting in here, so. You expect nothing less from a rivalry game as we are underway here in the third quarter.
If I was to bet, I think it's over capacity.
It will be standing room only here shortly as Rager misses it inside and Abner with the rebound. This is Joyce. He wears number 5. Zach David is number 3. 11 is a Bill Schultz. There is David in the lane, and he gets to go 4 in the first half. He is up to 6.
Yeah, South had to hit a couple of really big shots at the end of that quarter that basically helped to soften the blow of what was basically a dominant quarter by North.
Inside is Nate Hoffman, and he gets his first 2. Lead is back to 4. David has to pick it up. He lost the handle.
Yeah, and something that Coach Parker probably told his players is don't, with the way that North is surrounding the ball handler, do not find yourself against the sideline where you're basically creating a third person guarding you, because there were at least 3 steals that led to breakaway buckets in that second quarter because a player was too close to the sideline and was already being doubled.
Definitely going to put the pressure on both sides. Abner turned around over Rager, no good. There's Bramwell with the board. Hoffman going to push. Rochelle going to show the outside range. And he is now in double figures with 10. Bramwell had 10 at half. So there's the pressure now. Good pass out to Schultz for 3. No good, and then Rochelle and Rager actually fought through it. Collided. Rochelle with the rebound and a foul.
Well, you're the one who has told me that there are stories of brother against brother here, so teammate against teammate isn't too far-fetched. You just go for it.
Absolutely. As one thing that we'll see a lot of in this varsity game, a lot of the South kids, they've had older siblings play in the games. You know, they know what this game is about. They know, as Rhett Johnson's back in for Bloomington South, but they know what's coming. They've learned from experience. I ran into Noah Jager's dad. Noah Jager's an Army commit. His 2 older brothers, Johnny, who was a walk-on at IU, and brother Luke played. And his dad told me, he said, this is our 9th season of varsity basketball at South. Think about that. 9 years of a Jager playing varsity basketball, and it will end after this season as Petty gets the layup. And now this lead double digits.
Yeah,
all of a sudden.
The big thing has been keeping this as a home game. Basically, whenever South gets some momentum, it starts feeling like a road game. But if you can continue to be the aggressor and keep the South crowd quiet, then things are kind of parachuting. Or not parachuting, but avalanching. That's what I meant to say.
There's a 3 that's way off the mark by David. Now Petty up ahead to Hoffman. Rochelle throws the pass inside Rager, and he scores his 6th point of the night. Now it's 13. Now the lead is 13.
And it's just a fact that they can't handle this dialed-up pressure that North is bringing to them. It's I think the closest thing to a trapping it's a trapping defense, but people are still saying on assignment, so it isn't a full trap, but it's doing an excellent job of basically preventing North from getting their usual passing lanes, because they have to basically throw over and around players instead of in between players.
As you see, again, you see both student sections filled. There's the Bloomington South cheerleaders and the student section right below where we are sitting tonight. Again, this is sold out. I've seen this many years. You don't expect anything less but a packed house for these two. 4.5 miles separate these two schools. And the mission's always simple. You just want to beat that school on the other side of town. So they've been battling it since the 1972-73 season. South leads it all time 49-27. And you expect another classic tonight. And then you throw into the mix that you got Anthony Leal, an IU signee, staying home to play college ball next year. There's been a few of those in this rivalry that have gone on to suit up for the Cream and Crimson. Most notably from South, Jordan Hulls. Most notably from North, Jared Jeffries. Along with a host of other great players. Inside David, off the mark, Rager with the rebound, and then he and David are tangled up, and David's going to get whistled for the foul.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I got the list right here. Bloomington North players who have played for IU. Pat Knight, the coach's son, 91-95. Jared Jeffries and Eric Schur, who came on as a walk-on. For South, got Chris Lawson, Jordan Holes, Yanni Jaeger as a walk-on, and then Anthony Leal coming in next season.
Yeah, not to mention also for right now, you've got a current Edgewood Mustang, Cooper Bybee, who's at walk-on this year on the squad. So you got a couple other guys that in the olden days, Ralph Essery, Harlan Logan, Bobby Dobson, and Dick Sparks all played for Bloomington High School and then suited up. And then Vernon Pfaff, who was for Ellettsville High School, played for the Hoosiers from 63 to 67. So it is possible. And one player who will not see tonight in the varsity game, I think he's still hurt, is Xavier Trueblood, but he announced that he's going to be a preferred walk-on for the IU football team. So Xavier, so there is another IU connection in this game, although Xavier will be on the bench tonight, not able to play. He's been nursing an injury from football season. As you see, starting to slip away from South.
Yeah, it's fortunate because I believe it's his senior season, so they won't be able to play, but at least he still has the memories of North beating South in football.
Yeah, he can definitely enjoy that one for sure. You got several football players on both sides that were key cogs in the both seasons football team. For the Panthers, you got Maddox Blackwell, Jalen Peck, James Bamba. For North, you got Cade Loffman, Aaron Steinfeld, Xavier Trueblood. South has also dominated the football series as well, but North gets the wins this year. As you see, Joyce puts the three up. It is off the mark. Rochelle with the rebound. Nice bullet pass ahead to Bramwell, and he gets fouled. That is going to be 3 on Schultz. Going to see Josh Hanna in the lineup, number 40, replacing Bramwell. So Rager gets it to Hoffman. To Petty. About a minute and a half to go here in quarter number 3. There is Rager, and he gets fouled and will get to go to the line. So that's going to be on Brady Simpson, his second. Team's fifth, going to send Zach Rager to the line, 6'5" junior. He's got 9 points tonight. Rager's been this key cog on JV for the last couple of years. Starting to see a little time at varsity, but you know next year with 4 guys graduating, Jeremiah Blair, Cade Hoffman, Tim Brewster, and Xavier Trueblood, you expect Rager to see a lot more time in varsity for his senior season. He is in double digits now with 10. The lead is 18.
That's another thing. You can also use the backcourt line as another defender.
There is a 3 for Rhett Johnson, his second 3, and South within 15. South North had a 21-9 run in the second quarter. And using another big run here is Rager, kind of a turnaround shot. Leads back up to 17.
And that's the thing, is that this North defense is just making them work.
There is a 3 for Bill Schultz, and he is in double digits.
They're going to need those threes to keep flying.
And that's what South loves to do. They love to shoot threes. They love to. They can do it all. Rochelle's going to fire a 3. It's short. Rebound to Joyce. And fouled by Schultz. Now Daniels in the game, replacing Hoffman. Out of bounds to South. Just 5 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 3 on the way. Off the mark. Rager with the rebound. That's going to do it. North leads South 46-32 after 3 quarters on Smithville Sports.
Whether it's countertops, an outdoor kitchen, or a custom shower, Inside Out Kitchen and Bath can make your ideas reality. Based locally in Ellettsville, our staff have over 30 years experience in the business and the dedicated ability to get your job done right. Stop in and see us at 4053 North Centennial Drive in Ellettsville, just opposite Arby's. Visit our website at www.iokb.us or give us a call at 812-803-8005. We'll help you complete your project inside and out.
As we welcome you back to the Cougar Den here at Bloomington North, you see the South Panther huddle led by Coach Aaron Parker. You also see Kyle Simpson, assistant coach, was also the coach at Southport for a while. Nate Peck, former Panther, along with Aaron Vinford and Kyle Dugan, former Panthers as well. Then Neil Coyle, one of the varsity assistants, sitting on the bench. Son Chance Coyle, all-time leading scorer at Bloomington South, Indiana All-Star, playing at the University of Southern Indiana. There you see the North huddle with Jabril Conte, Mike Sekinick, the assistant, also the Basie, Connor Basie, former Cougar, and then Connor's dad, John Basie, as well. So both sides of this, you've got a lot of connections between former, players and dads and everything in this. And unlike Edgewood and Owen Valley, where that's like a Hatfield-McCoy's thing, this is more just, these guys are all just grew up together, played against each other, respect each other, but you know, it's kind of like you're friends for 364 days, and then that 365th day, it's throw it out the window and it's time to go play. So we get ready. We're ready for the fourth quarter here. And South's going to have to really start going here if they want to get back in this. And that's not the way to start with a turnover.
The one thing I worry about with North is because they've been exerting so much energy over the last two quarters with a lot of forcing South towards boundaries to try to basically create extra defenders against them, is if they're going to start running out of energy. Their conditioning is really going to be key here in the fourth quarter.
DeJuan Daniels gets the bucket, and it leads to 16.
And I know you're probably saying, well, conditioning, you guys are student athletes, young, but I mean, there's an emotional drain as well because it's a rivalry.
Absolutely. As Bramwell and Rager have played all four quarters, so they will, they'll both dress varsity, so one quarter each for those two this evening, if it comes down to it. Bramwell, no good. Rebounded by South. There is Zach David. They're going to wave off the shot, foul before the shot. They're going to call Daniels with a foul. His first and team's fifth. Now the Panthers control. Looks like they're still trying to work for that kind of perfect shot, good shot. And there's Abner inside, no good. Rebounded by Joyce, and he gets fouled. That is on Tyree Rochelle, his first. And Patrick Joyce at the line has been held scoreless since the first quarter, had 7 points. But the sophomore has gone quiet. One more for Joyce. And he gets that one to go, and it is a 48-33 lead. Now Coach Conte wants a full timeout with 5:19 to go here in the fourth quarter.
And probably what he's preaching right now to his team is to simultaneously not let off the gas, but at the same time try to shorten the game as much as possible. Especially with given the fact that they've exerted so much energy right now with the type of defense that they've been playing. If this game gets exaggerated and longed out with like fouls and that kind of stuff, that's just going to it's just going to make them more and more tired, and the more and more likelihood of South extending the game, having a chance to come back in it.
As we saw a crowd shot just a minute ago of this big sold out crowd here. It's still people filing
coming in.
As again, we want to thank our crew tonight for all the great sights and sounds of high school basketball. Sam Malloy, Noah Barajas, Jeremy Nutter on the cameras, Rob Ramsey, Catherine Jankowski, Annette Bruner behind the scenes, and you and I doing this game. And you know, this game always has different meaning for both of us. You look at it as an event, and someone who didn't grow up here as an event for the community. Of course, for me, it's personal, born and raised here. My siblings graduated here from Bloomington North, and you know, I've been at this game as a spectator many times. I know a lot of kids and the parents, you know, and their parents and all the things. So it's, you know, it's always one of those games. As Rager scores inside. And he'll go to the line.
Oh, for a second I thought they weren't going to count the basket.
No, they did.
They did, though. Just been a delay on that, and that is an absolute backbreaker.
And that's 4 on Jordan Abner as Rager gets the basket.
Abner has been absolutely lights out here in the second half, basically punishing a South team that is just kind of exasperated at this point.
As you see, the pressure still inside. As a foul, Conte praising his guys for going after that. That's going to send Zach David to the line.
I mean, you said it, South is known for three-point shooting, so never truly out of it, especially with this much time left.
4:51 to go. 18-point lead for North as Johnson gets the rebound, and then Bramwell is going to get called for the foul as David missed the free throw.
And already now, South is in the bonus for the rest of the game.
And that is the first on Bramwell. Brett Johnson at the line, and he misses.
And South, after being lights out in the first half from the free throw line, having some struggles here.
They were 7 for 8 in the first half. They are 1 of 4 since, making it 1 of 5. What a difference a half makes.
What a difference a 3 quarters makes.
As there is
I can guarantee you that there were probably some people here who, after the first quarter, was like, okay, South's got maybe some South fans are just like, okay, got this, and then decided, to go out, like talk with, call their loved ones or something that'd be like for the game and that kind of stuff. And then they come back in here and like, what happened? North happened.
That's how I always feel watching South through the years, because you can look up at the scoreboard and think, well, it's a 3-point lead. All of a sudden, the next time you see it, it's up to 15, and you're like, what happened? And that's how South always plays in varsity. It's just like, it just goes like that. So that's what happened. As we're at 4:05 to go. In 20 minutes, this one will tip off at Varsity. And a lot of intrigue as always, and a lot of guys to watch for both sides. There is Abner, throws it up. It is no good, and he gets fouled.
They're getting South already expertly getting into the foul game, getting fouled, extending this game, but they need to hit these free throws.
So Jordan Abner, who had 3 points in the first quarter, another kid that's been silent. As, it was 28-24 at half, and then North had an 18-8 third quarter run. As the free throw woes now for South continue. Just one free throw, no field goals here in this fourth quarter.
And that was kind of a trend in the second and third quarter where they went about 5 minutes without a field goal, and then in the final couple minutes they would start hitting a couple, and you think, okay, now they're coming around, and then all of a sudden, again, in a funk. And you have to really, like I said, I've talked to those, you really have to credit this North defense. They've done an amazing job right now. South is just completely out of sync. And you have to credit the defense for that. Basically making players unsure of what passes to make, and basically and in a rivalry situation, basically trying to make players play hero ball.
Yeah, as Jordan Abner goes to the bench, fouls out with just 3 points. Zach Rager misses that one. Rochelle's going to get called for over the back.
And that's going to be foul number 10, so that's double bonus now the rest of the way.
So South's going to go to the line. Or no, they're going to say And now the officials are telling. Yeah, it's a shooting. It is a shooting foul. That is the 10th team foul on North, so it's going to be Rhett Johnson at the line.
Johnson has been one of the players who have been able to keep South afloat.
He's hit 2 threes tonight. He gets that foul shot to go. Now we're going to see Hannah Hoffman and Miles Frank back in the game for the Cougars. Johnson with 7 points tonight. A couple guys, again, missing in action for South with illness. And here is 51-35, just under 3.5 to go. Frank. Just leave him open. They're going to shoot the three. He misses it. Coach Parker not happy with that defensive assignment.
Oh, absolutely not.
As Daniels drives inside, just throws up a shot, and it goes in. And lead is back to 18. Then off on South be North ball. So here comes 41 Alex Ogden into the game, 6'4" sophomore. Grant New into the game for South, 23. So as we approach 2.5 to go, inside foul on Hoffman. That is going to be on Miles Frank, his third. This is going to be Bill Schultz at the line. Hits that. He'll have one more as Logan Jackson, number 12, is now in the game, replacing Patrick Joyce. And Schultz hits that one. .220 to go.
And just think if they had hit those free throws at the same percentage, this would be about a 12. We're talking about like a 10-12 point game right now.
As Coach Conte calls a timeout. As you see him instructing his players. And this is where, at this point in the game, where the game is out of reach, this is where you start instructing your guys. These are the guys that are the future of your program. So these are what you want. You want certain things in situations like this. You want to show them where they're going right now and what they need to do. As you see the South student section up on their feet, getting ready with the Panther cheerleaders. And then there's the North student section. And you know that in any rivalry game, as you know, in student sections, there's definitely going to be another X factor, as they are going to go back and forth all night long.
Yeah, you mentioned that 4.5 mile distance. It's easy for people. It's easy for students to travel that short a distance. So it's an even crowd, basically.
Yeah, it's definitely a 50-50 crowd, as it's going to be loud as can be in here for this game. That's going to be on Brady Simpson, his third. Josh Hanna at the line. He misses. Rebound to North. Under 2 to go. Hoffman, that rimmed in and out, but a foul was called. Nate Hoffman at the line, 5'10", sophomore. Logan Jackson called for the foul. And then Griffin Gillard is back in for Bloomington South, and there's Hoffman. He gets that to go. (54-37). As you mentioned, great effort from North defensively tonight. Kenny Graham is in the game for South, wearing number 10. Now we will see Gavin Wisely, number 20, into the game for South. So 1:25 to go. Taken away. Daniels gonna get called, or Jackson's gonna get called for the foul.
And you mentioned, you know, players getting experience. Daniels, who has been really good in this game, this is his first game with it. He's a freshman, so he's got 3 more of these at minimum, and he's already put up a really good performance so far in his first.
Yeah, these two teams in the same section, along with Columbus North, Columbus East, East Central, and Martinsville. That's always a highly competitive sectional. South has dominated the last few years in the getting out of the sectional, as they have won like 5 in a row last couple years. So it's, you know, it's been a South dominating thing. Yeah, they've won from 5 in a row from 2015 to last year. They're looking for 6 in a row this year. As now we're under a minute to go. And then 20 minutes, and then the varsity game comes out. As it is jam-packed in here, definitely a little warm, as it always is when there's a jam-packed gym.
And also a little humid since it's raining outside.
Yeah, been raining all day as well. Ogden, no good. As 6 seconds to go here, the North is going to win it 55-37. So the home team very happy as we look at the highlights, and that is Zach David with the bucket. North going inside with Nate Hoffman. Outside Tyree Rochelle. Zach Rager gets the job done. Double figures for Zach tonight. Bryce Petty with a nice bucket. Nice job for South hitting the outside shot. And then DeJuan Daniels throws it up, double figures for him. That's going to do it. Bloomington North 55, Bloomington South 37. For all the hardworking women and men behind the scenes, for my partner Quinn Saturday, I am Nick Jenkins, and we will see you in 20 minutes for the varsity game here on Smithville Sports. We welcome you live to Tom McKinney Court here at the Cougar Den at Bloomington High School North, Bloomington, Indiana, where tonight it's the Battle of Bloomington as the Bloomington South Panthers travel across town to take on the Bloomington North Cougars. Glad you could join us from a sold-out Cougar Den for North Cougar basketball and Smithville Sports. I am Nick Jenkinson alongside Quinn Saturday. And Quinn, when it comes to this game, I start it off every time. I was born and raised here in Bloomington. My siblings attended Bloomington North. I've been a spectator at this game for many years, and now for the third time I get to sit up here and call this game with you. It is nothing more than a privilege and an honor to get to do this. And are you strapped in, ready to go?
Don't worry, we actually got the duct tape this time. We actually did. So we are strapped in, ready to go. It's going to be a good one. And for the third year in a row, we're going to be honored with getting to cover a future Indiana Hoosier.
Yeah, there's 3 current IU players that we've had on our air. We've had Trace Jackson Davis from Center Grove, Joey Brunk from Southport, who started his career at Butler and now is a grad transfer for IU, and not to mention the pride of Ellettsville, Cooper Bybee, the walk-on, who hit a big 3 against Princeton, his only 3 so far in a Hoosier uniform after spending 2 years with the only Central Junior College team in Illinois. Not to mention we had a former Hoosier last year in Romeo Langford who was on our air twice as a sophomore and then a senior. As you see, the Bloomington South Panthers come out, and we mentioned the future Hoosier, and there he is in the back. That is number 3. That is Anthony Leal. He is staying home. He committed August 9th to IU, and then in July he announced he was going to choose between IU and Stanford. So there is the South Panthers with Anthony Leal. Also got another, as you get to see the North Cougars get ready to come out onto the floor as North comes in 9-2, and there are the Cougars coming out of the locker room. As you see, the last guy out of the locker room is Isaac Venzel, and he leads this Cougar squad.
Isaac Venzel has been a leader ever since he first started as a freshman. This season averaging 15 and a half points per game, also averaging 3.5 rebounds and 2.5 assists, and nearly 2 steals a game as well. He has really helped this team. He was with them when they started making that turnaround under Coach Spear, and it's gotten to the point now where both teams now can stand against each other, and this is a fairly even fight now.
Fairly even tight matchup. South comes in 12-2. They are ranked 2nd in Class 4A behind Lawrence North. They have really, their schedule has been, they have rolled through most teams. Their closest game was Floyd Central, 51-50 in overtime down there. They're coming off. They won the Richmond tournament. They also played Culver Academy at Southport. They have dominated every team. They averaged 68.8, give up 41.9. For Bloomington North, 9-2. They lost to Fishers in the Bedford North Lawrence tournament. They also lost to Evansville Rights last week here in the Cougar Den. Evansville Rights led by IU target Christian Lander. I was here for that game, 25 points. But it was one of those where North just couldn't get over the hump late in that game. So this gym is packed, ready to go. As you see the Cougar mascot getting in place, ready to go, firing up the student section. As again, sold out. So if you're thinking of trying to get here to this game and you don't have a ticket, you're not getting in. Standing room only. And as you mentioned earlier, Quinn, in the JV, 50-50 crowd.
Yeah, and the weird thing is because it is technically a home game, but you'll hear more of the South crowd because we're on the south end.
And we've got the South students right in front of where we're positioned here as the clock is getting ready to count down. they'll make a couple announcements and get ready for the national anthem here as both teams are getting ready. Several players to feature tonight, and we will get to all of that here in a little bit. So we're glad you could join us. Again, making just a couple quick announcements as they're going to get ready to do the national anthem. Looks like they're going to present a game ball here to a local sponsor as well. That's the thing, we're always trying to figure out the whole anthem. The Force Fitness, the proud sponsor of North Cougar basketball, getting a game ball this evening. They always, as you see, a great shot of the game ball presented to Force Fitness. They not only contribute to Cougar athletics, but Panther athletics as well, helping a lot of the youth in Monroe County get ready for athletic competition and just the next level too. And they're continuing to make just a couple more announcements here real quick as all the people are on their feet standing, getting ready for the national anthem. So they are going to bring out the All Abilities Choir, the Bloomington All Abilities Choir. They sang at the IU women's game the other night. This is really cool. As they are bringing out the crowd. Getting a rounding ovation from the crowd here. So as we get ready. So as we're going to pause here for the national anthem.
Colors out in front of the center court here, the big Cougar, our national anthem.
That is the All Abilities Choir getting a rounding standing ovation from this crowd. Great job before this game between rivals Bloomington North and Bloomington South. So as we get ready here, we will introduce the starting lineups. And we will do it as they get introduced so that you see them as they come out. So Bloomington South, and it's going to be Anthony Leal, the IU recruit, 6'5" senior, wearing number 3. Number 10 is Connor Hickman, 6'2" junior. He's already got an offer from Elon College in North Carolina. As you see the North students going to sleep. Noah Jager, 15, 5'9" senior, and then it's the Bombas. Joey Bomba, 6'4" junior, wearing number 11. James Bamba, 6'7", senior, wearing number 23. He is committed to Miami of Ohio to play football. Now it's Bloomington North. And they're going to turn off the lights here, do the old Chicago Bull style. As you see the student section loving that, as they get the music ready to go. And it's going to be and it's Nick Kleiber, number 11, 6'1" sophomore. And then Isaac Venzel, number 22, 6'2" junior, getting the start, been the leading scorer. And J.Q. Roberts, the 6'5" freshman, number 13. Jeremiah Blair, 6'3" senior, number 23. And then Aaron Steinfeld, 6'5", junior, wearing number 44. So the coaches for Bloomington South, J.R. Holmes, who's
been around for a while, let's just say.
Been around for 50 years as a coach, Quinn. All-time winningest coach in Indiana high school basketball history, 822 and 339, coached at Mitchell and Tunnelton, along with 38 years at Bloomington South, 679 and 221. And then Jason Spear is 143 and 75 and 10 years overall, 28 and 27 in his third year here at Bloomington North. Coached Columbus North for 7 years from 2008 to 2015. As it's loud, and here we go. So South with the tip, and this is going to be Noah Jager handling it for South, number 15. Nice, tries to throw a bounce pass into Joey Bamba. It goes out of bounds, last touch by North. It'll be South ball.
Same thing as I said with the JV game. There's going to be a lot of energy here to start here. Who's going to be able to take this energy first?
This is Connor Hickman. South has dominated this series of late. It's been the 2013-14 season. Leo fires a three, in and out, rebounded Blair, since North has won a game in this series. Kleiber with it to Isaac Venzel. To Steinfeld. Kleiber. J.Q. Roberts. Athletic freshman for North. As you see, Roberts gets it to Kleiber. North will reset. Isaac Venzel gets it to Blair. Blair gets blocked by Leal. Leal's going to bring it up. Kicks it out to Joey Bamba. Hickman, corner three, no good. Rebound Steinfeld. Here comes North. Just a minute and a half in and no score yet.
And I want to point out just how much bigger Anthony Leal is than the other players. He literally ran over Isaac Venzel when he threw that pass.
As Steinfeld can't get that to go. Leal stands 6'5", although he looks, like you said, looks a lot taller. There is Jager. Hickman. Nice layup for Connor Hickman, taking it past Isaac Venzel.
Just that bit of hesitation, able to beat him on the dribble and get the first basket of the game.
South on the board, Kleiber. Steinfeld for three, it's good!
Now that's something new. Steinfeld, not traditionally a three-point shooter in his first couple of seasons right now, adding to his game.
And that is Joey Bamba with the bucket. South retakes the lead. Isaac Venzel gets it to Steinfeld, to Kleiber. Kleiber step back three, wide open, nailed it. 6-4, North leads. South resets, Joey Bamba to James. They are cousins, the Bamba boys. Noah Jager taken away by Isaac Venzel, and it's going to be Hickman with the foul.
Smart foul, because you never want Isaac Venzel to go ahead with a full head of steam, as we've learned through the years. As I said, started as a freshman, I think day one as well.
Yeah, older brother Ethan played in this series or played in this game as well. There is a Lucas Venzel on the freshman team, 6'1", as they are cleaning up I think they're cleaning up the moisture on the floor. Was there a timeout called?
Yeah, to Steinfeld's credit, I just looked it up. That is his fourth three-pointer on the season. He is making him 4 for 11. That is such an added thing. He's already proven to be a really good post player in his first two, in his freshman and sophomore season. Adding that three-point range just continues to make him a blossoming star for this North team.
He's had a great season so far as well. 6 games in double figures, comes off his best game, 20 against Evansville Rights last week. He's also scored 12 points apiece against Morrisville, Southport, Scottsburg, Fishers, and Milan. Isaac Venzel, 9 games in double figures. Nick Kleiber with 8. Then Steinfeld, Jeremiah Blair with 5. Tim Brewster with 4. Nate Toohill and J.Q. Roberts with 2 apiece. So they're cleaning up. There's a little blood on the floor, so they're cleaning that up. As you see, the South Panthers, Neil Coyle, an assistant. His son, Chance Coyle, the all-time leading scorer at Bloomington South, was an Indiana All-Star a few years ago, and playing now for the University of Southern Indiana. So back underway here. 6-4 lead. Nick Kleiber gets it to Blair, to Roberts. Venzel going to drive with Hickman, almost loses it, gets it out to Blair. Blair against Leal, one-on-one. Leal swats it away and into the hands of Jager. Joey Bomba's got it. Roberts quickly closes out. Jager spins, Hickman, 3, got it! Connor Hickman, his first 3 of the night, and South leads by 1.
Hickman, an over 50% three-point shooter. You do not want to leave him open.
He's got 1 offer from Elon College in North Carolina, been interest from, as Roberts scored, been interest from Furman, Dayton, Bradley, and Evansville. So North back on top, 8-7.
Roberts, the third in line of freshman starters now for North.
Yeah, definitely an athletic player, long, lengthy, and he's definitely going to come into his own as he progresses. They're going to call the foul on North. They're going to give Nick Kleiber, and that's his first and the team's first. South will have it out of bounds. There's Leal to inbound. And then throws a bad pass intended for Bamba, and Steinfeld is right in the lane to intercept it. Taken away, there is Anthony Leal. He misses it. Here comes North, transition 3, Venzel, no good. Battle is hit, throws a nice pass into Blair.
Yeah, you could definitely tell right away when Venzel attempted that shot that he knew it was going to be short, and he went right for it and is able to find Blair as the other players were scrambling. Always you'll always see that with like the top players always being one step ahead.
Followed his shot, and there's Leal for three, and he got it. Anthony Leal's first three of the game, and it's tied at 10.
And he now passes Tucker Blackwell, former South player, on the South all-time leading scoring list.
Yeah, Anthony Leal definitely on the moving up the charts of Monroe County High School basketball top scorers as he got the charge there. That's the second foul on Clyber. You mentioned Tucker Blackwell, who's now at Army. Noah Jager headed to Army next year. Second player from Bloomington South joining Tucker Blackwell at West Point. So this is Joey Bamba to Jager. Jager flies to the basket and gets it to go. 2-point lead for the Panthers. Marco Fitch, number 10, into the game for Bloomington North. Taken away, there's Jager. They're going to get Venzel for the foul. They're going to get Marco Fitch for the foul. Now they're going to bring Cody Doig into the game, number 12. He's a 6'2 senior.
Also a lethal three-point shooter as well.
Yeah, comes off the bench, only started one game. That was against Edgewood to start the season when James Bamba was still coming back from football. This is Leal. Inside against Blair, and Blair's going to get called for the foul as Blair thought he had a clean block. So they're going to get Blair for the first one, and Anthony Leal at the line. First shot is good for Leal. He had an older sister, Lauren, play for South Girls. She went to DePaul University. And Leal hits both. He's got 5. It's been in double figures every game this season. So there is Isaac Venzel. Gets around Doig and scores.
Really played the tightrope on that baseline.
A good job by Isaac Venzel. He has definitely become the top scorer on this North team. They're going to get Blair again. That's 2 on Jeremiah.
Yeah, that is not good, especially when you have a player of his size to be able to go up against Leal, to lose him right here. I would not be surprised if Coach Spear brought him out relatively early in the second quarter.
And they're going to put Tim Brewster in the game. They're going to get a 30-second timeout here with 44.1 in that first quarter. As you look at the North huddle, you see Xavier Trueblood in the middle of the screen in street clothes tonight. Trueblood, one of the top football players on that North squad, along with Cade Loffman and Aaron Steinfeld. Trueblood announced last month that he's going to walk on to the IU football team, so congratulations to him to be able to stay at home and play for Tom Allen and the Hoosiers.
Yeah, always awesome when you're able to have a player, especially with someone with as much passion as he does for the sport, be able to play, and you just know that he's going to end up becoming a big contributor. He's going to become a big contributor on his 4 years there.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely going to join the Indiana Mr. Football, Charlie Spiegel from New Palestine, who's going to also be a preferred walk-on. as well. South lost to New Palestine in the semi-state this year in football in Class 5A. South retains possession. It's already a fast first quarter, under 30 seconds to go. Jager. Trent Kirby, 45, into the game for Bloomington South. Joey Bomba, 3, no good. Venzel rebound. Got to throw it up, and no good. So the end of the first quarter, Bloomington South leads Bloomington North 14-12 on Smithville Sports.
Smithville Media has produced stunning and engaging features and documentaries for over a decade. Local interest stories, interviews, commercials and event coverage are all part of what we do. Let us showcase your business or create a commercial for your promotions. We can even play your pieces during our live sports broadcasts. For details, speak with a Smithville representative or email media@smithville.com.
As we welcome you back to Bloomington High School North, you see Jason Spear instructing his squad as North is down 14-12 to Bloomington South here as we start the second quarter. Glad you could join us for North Cougar Basketball and Smithville Sports. I am Nick Jenkinson alongside Quinn Saturday. So far, Quinn, a quick pace first quarter.
Yeah, and something to note is the foul discrepancy right there. 5-1 isn't too bad of a, but that has already led to two starters for North already in foul trouble in Kleiber and Blair. So right now, that is really, really huge and is going to require the bench to really have to play forward. I definitely expect that in a game like this, Spear definitely will not be afraid to bring them in quicker than he usually would, but it's still up to the bench right now to be able to do their best and keep this game close.
That's going to be on Connor Hickman, his second, and the team's second, and then James Bomba is going to commit the foul. Going to send Isaac Venzel to the line. So it's now 5-3 in fouls. This will send Isaac Venzel to the line. Venzel, 6'2" junior. And he misses the shot. And now we're going to see Cade Loffman for the first time in the game. Going to replace J.Q. Roberts. Venzel hits the second one. Lead is cut to 1. This is Jager. Leal going to fire the 3 over Brewster, off the mark. Venzel with the rebound. Marco Fitch. Now they're going to switch Hickman and James Bomba. There was a mismatch there. Brewster. Loffman. Venzel. Guarded by Jager. Going to throw up a shot, and he's going to get called for steps.
And if he wasn't called for that, he probably would have been called for the push-off as well. So actually, he got the lesser of the two evils.
And he gave Jager definitely a shove in the lane for sure. Always a physical game between these two. There's Leal. Slices between two Cougars and going to get called for the offensive foul. So now it's 5-4 in fouls as Leal picks up his first. Wenzel puts it up. No good. Leal with the board. South up 1. Jaeger just flies past Marco Fitch for the bucket. And that is off the mark.
Wenzel thought he was fouled on the three-pointer, and the South crowd letting him know that he wasn't.
Yeah, both student sections are standing. They're full, and they're excited about, ready for this game. Standing room only here at Bloomington North. Leal in the lane, throws it up over Steinfeld and gets it to go. 18-13. As Wenzel, he is going to miss the shot. Well, rebound Leal. Here's Hickman. Takes it, but they're going to call the offensive foul on Hickman, and that's 3 on Connor Hickman.
That is absolutely huge. Now, granted, this is South, so there are three-point shooters that will just come off the bench in waves, but still, he is undisputably your best three-point shooter.
They're going to bring in Maddox Blackwell, number 5. He's a 5'9" junior. His older sister, Addie, plays at the University of Southern Indiana. Also, older sister, Marina, played for South as well. Blackwell, a football player as well. As Joey Bamba blocks Cade Hoffman.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Isaac Wenzel has been the only one shooting. He needs to get other players involved. And just to say that Hoffman went in there, but Bamba, an excellent job.
Steinfeld misses this shot, and then they're going to call James Bamba for the hook on Hoffman. And he can't believe it.
It's funny how I mentioned that a 5-1 foul discrepancy. It has been 5 straight foul calls called on South since then.
6-5 now in fouls against South. 5-point Panther lead. Now they're going to bring Trent Kirby, 45, back in to replace James Bamba, who's got 2. So you talked about the foul discrepancy as you see Jabril Conte, JV coach, his team victorious tonight over their rival. Knows all about this game. As a former player. Taken away. Here's Leal. Going to go right to the bucket over Steinfeld. Gets fouled and will go to the line.
That was a miscommunication between Brewster and Loft. And then tried to find Loftman underneath, but he wasn't looking. And then an easy steal and going the other way.
First on Steinfeld. Anthony Leal at the line, was an Indiana Junior All-Star last season, along with Noah Jaeger. Definitely 2 top candidates to make the team this year. As Leal hits the free throw. So one more. And he misses that one. Loffman with the board. And here comes the Cougars. Down 6. Again, stay tuned. We'll have a great halftime feature for you. Blair. Leal not giving Blair any room. Gonna go against Kirby. No good. Leal a rebound. Leal wants it now. He's going to give it back to Jaeger.
Yeah, the spacing is just not there right now for North.
Jaeger going to fire 3 from the corner and did it. 7 points for Noah Jaeger so far. He had 2 older brothers play in this game. Johnny Jaeger, walk on for IU a couple years ago, and then Luke Jaeger, middle brother.
Yeah, those are the types of passes that North needs.
There is Brewster in the lane. Blair loses it. Leal saves it into the hands of Joey Bamba. Here is Noah Jager. And he's going to get an offensive foul called as Isaac Vinsel draws the charge. That is the team 7, so North in the 1-1.
Very critical charge, and right now we're kind of teetering right now at that point right now where South is almost about to take control of the entire game. North needs to dig into this, needs to tear into this lead right now.
Down by 9. Blair off the mark, Leo the rebound. North's only point was an Isaac Vinsel free throw here in this second quarter. They have gone cold from the field. Jager inside, drives against Blair, he's got 9. Lead double digits, Jason Spear wants a 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout used right now.
3:02 left. Well, this is also a big game in Conference Indiana. Bloomington South is 2-0. North is 1-0, along with Columbus North. Terre Haute North and Terre Haute South 0-1, and Southport 0-2. The only other game in the conference tonight, Terre Haute North making a long trip to Columbus North, as Bloomington South again has had a stranglehold on not only the conference but the sectional as well, with 5 straight sectional championships, and they've won 4 straight Conference Indiana titles, 11 overall, 22 sectionals, 8 regionals, 2 semi-states, 2 state titles for Bloomington South, a state title for North in 1997.
Kleiber back in, and they definitely need him in his three-point shooting.
Kleiber with 2 fouls, also Blair with 2 fouls. There's Vinsel inside, and he breaks the scoring drought. So its lead is down to 9. Leal fires over Blair, and he's going to get Blair called for his 3rd foul.
And that was a situation where he embellished it a little bit, but he did touch his hand. He did swat his hand when he attempted to block the 3, and that is a foul.
7-team foul on North is going to send Leal to the line. And he misses there. He is 3 for 6 from the line tonight. Only South player to get to the line. And he gets that one to go. He was in the act of a 3-point shot. Aaron Steinfeld's going to come back in, replacing Jeremiah Blair. So one more for Anthony Leal. And he gets that one to go. Lead is back up to 11.
And that's double digits for Leal.
All 13 games now in double figures for Anthony Leal this season. Vinsel, guarded by Maddox Blackwell. J.Q. Roberts. Nate Toohill, number 12, into the game. As right now, South packing with that zone. North unable to go inside.
Yeah, the 2-3 zone really getting to them.
Kleiber deep 3 off the mark. J.Q. Roberts called over the back of Maddox Blackwell.
Yeah, one of those kind of freshman gut reactions. I need to get a rebound, but unfortunately the opponent already has rebounding position.
And it is 8-7 in fouls. This is going to bring Maddox Blackwell to the line, 5'9" junior. And he gets that basket to go. One more for Blackwell. He hits both. Lead is 13. So it's Venzel with it. Going to try to throw a dangerous cross-court pass and then deflected into the hands. Jaeger, Leal! No. I think Leal was too far underneath the rim. They're going to say it's North ball.
That zone is giving them so much trouble right now.
That is what South does best. 1 minute, the game is tied, and then 2 minutes later, South's up by 13. Again, unable to work inside. Kleiber with it to Roberts. Going back to Kleiber. Venzel. Kick it out, Venzel. Wing three's good.
Venzel has been the man right now for the Cougars in this second quarter. I think he still has all the points for them.
He's got 6 points, all 6 Cougar points in this quarter. Leal. Jaeger with it. Gonna work for one shot. J.R. Holmes saying one shot. Instructing his point guard as for what he wants done on this possession. Seven seconds. Jaeger gonna go down the lane. Throw it up. That's not what he wanted. Roberts. Now it touched the back of the basket, and it's going to say out of bounds, and now 0.8 seconds. South's going to have it underneath. Blackwell to inbound it. Leal just going to throw it up. It's short, and we'll go to halftime with South up by 10, 28 to 18. So as we look at the highlights, Aaron Steinfeld showing the range. Joey Bamba with the shot for the Panthers, and then Leal, the IU signee, inside. Connor Hickman drains the three, but he's in foul trouble. J.Q. Roberts, the freshman, inside to Jeremiah Blair. And then Leal going outside, double figures, and then Noah Jaeger, the little water bug for South. Isaac Venzel leading the way for the Cougars. There is Jaeger inside. Leal gets the hoop and the harm. As you see then Connor Hickman offensive foul called. Joey Bamba with the nice block. Jaeger with the big three. Venzel will answer with a three of his own as we're at halftime. Bloomington South 28, Bloomington North 18 on Smithville Sports.
My name is Pat East. I'm the Executive Director of the Mill. I've been here for about 2 years now, a year since we opened the Mill and a year before that, getting the project up and running. Dimension Mill, or the Mill as we call it, is 19,000 square feet of co-working and incubator space. So what that means is our members are freelancers, consultants, startups, students, remote workers. They rent desks from us on a month-to-month basis, so that consists of a membership. They get access to internet, to conference rooms, to call rooms. They get access to our classroom, our podcasting studio, our kitchenette. And so it's a really quick and easy way for somebody to have an office space without having to do all the work associated with an office. In addition to that, we have 10 private offices that are all occupied by startups. And so these folks are growing their companies. They're anywhere from kind of 1 employee all the way up to maybe 10 employees. And the idea for them is to grow as quickly as possible, move in, grow quickly, and then leave as quickly as possible as well. And we want to kind of do this cycle as much as possible. This is a 104-year-old building. It used to be part of the Shower Brothers Furniture Factory. So around the turn of the century, Shower Brothers was the dominant furniture manufacturer in the United States. When you first walk into the mill, you can feel and sense the energy in here. And I think partly that's because of the history of the building, but also because the architects did a phenomenal job preserving as much of the red exposed brick, preserving the 104-year-old wooden floor, preserving the skylights, and just kind of the overall look and feel of the building. When somebody signs up to be a member at the mill, they get access to all of our amenities here. We have primary internet from Smithville. It's a gig up, gig down, it's dedicated fiber. It was installed specifically for us, so nobody else is on our internet. It's the fastest internet you can get in Bloomington. So internet is really extremely important here because all these folks are knowledge workers, and so almost all their work is on the internet. So it's extremely important that we have internet available literally 24/7. We have a 2-story event hall here as well, with skylights and an art gallery downstairs with fresh new art coming in every month. We have a 30-seat classroom where we have speakers come in, where we have code school twice a week. Lots of companies do half-day or full-day strategy sessions there. Lots of companies have their board meetings there as well. And we have 3 call booths that folks can pop in for webinars or private confidential phone calls. We also have 3 conference rooms that folks can reserve online. We also have a bike room in the back. And then finally, we have 2 main co-working areas. One is up front. That room is much more open, and folks do a lot of socializing in the front room. And then the back room is much quieter, kind of has a library feel with library carols. It just feels a lot quieter, and folks do a lot more heads down work back there. So at the mill, we have a podcast studio, and because we support all forms of entrepreneurship at the mill, because our vision is to become the center of co-working and entrepreneurship in Indiana, we wanted to make sure we took advantage of this wave that's happening. So all of our equipment in the podcast studio was selected by Shine Insurance. They're the sponsor of the podcast studio. They do all of the training for us as well, and then all of the management of the studio. All of our equipment was purchased by Sweetwater. They're the world's largest online pro audio equipment seller. They happen to be located in Indiana as well, in Fort Wayne. And so with all this kind of energy that we put behind the podcast studio and kind of this wave of entrepreneurship it's creating, we have 7 different podcasts that have started at the mill since we opened our doors about a year ago. And the mill is starting its own podcast as well. So Smithville's involvement has assisted the mill in 2 really, really big ways. The first is, of course, the internet we have here. It's a gig up, it's a gig down, it's the fastest we can possibly get. It's a dedicated fiber line, which means nobody else is on it, and they installed it specifically for us. And so without having this anchor of really fast, reliable internet, I honestly don't believe we'd have as many members as we do now, because when you look at other spaces, they may not be designed as well, but they have reliable, fast internet. But when you have the fastest and most reliable, it truly, truly makes a difference for these knowledge workers. The second big way that Smithville has really helped us is because Smithville is such a widely known employer in Bloomington, because they care so much about the community, there's so much community involvement. It really helps to have their brand associated with us, to have their moral support as well when we're embarking on a project like this that takes so many people, it takes so much effort, it takes so much energy and resources. Because without really great partners like Smithville and all of our 20 or 30 other corporate sponsors, we can't get a project like this up and running. And so having Smithville's moral support is really a huge, huge win for us. So there's lots of different startups here at the mill. In addition, we have a lot of good resources for startups. So we have a full-time entrepreneur in residence. So what that means is the EIR is a full-time mentor. So this person helps our startups company build, they go through financials, they help them find customers, they help them find investors. So between the EIR and all these support resources like IU Ventures and all these different startups, there's a really interesting, cool community here. And so if somebody has a small business where they are selling their wares on Main Street, we'd love to figure out how to help them get online with an e-commerce store and help them sell their wares globally. And so even if you're not currently focused on kind of a high potential, high growth company, we'd like to figure out how you could get there if that's something you want to do. You can get a month-to-month membership, so there's no contracts, and we have multiple memberships to fit whatever your particular business is at the particular stage and life cycle is. And for those folks who are starting their business but maybe doing it while they have a full-time job, we have a nights and weekends membership as well. The feeling that people get when they walk into the mill is the thing I like most about working at the mill. Even a year later, it doesn't get old. People seeing the mill for the first time and just being overwhelmed in a good way that something like this not only exists in Bloomington, but exists in the Midwest. The main benefit of the mill is the people here. We have 250 people from all different walks of life who've decided to be in Bloomington. These are really smart people doing cool, interesting things with their lives, whether they're remote workers or they've decided to start their own business. And most of the people who are running a business here, if you're just now starting your business, they've probably gone through the same problems that you've had. So while the building is really phenomenal and the design is great, it's the people that really matter, and it's the people that really no other city in the United States can replicate. And it's the people that will make the membership benefit the most. The mill really acts as a lightning rod for all of this energy and activity and creativity. It's hard not to be inspired when you walk into the mill. If somebody's interested in a membership, in renting space, in holding an event here, the best way to get in touch with us is to go to dimensionmill.org online.
We welcome you back to Bloomington High School North here at the Cougar Den, Tom McKinney Court. Bloomington South up on Bloomington North 28-18. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball alongside Quinn Saturday. I am Nick Jenkinson. And Quinn, right now, Bloomington South control of this game.
Yeah, it was just a 14-12 lead for South. And as we talked about in the JV, South has those moments where it's like, it's a close game. Let me just go ahead and step away for a second. Wait, how to become a double-digit game? South has a way of doing that, and it's been a lot through defense right now. The 2-3 has been extremely tough for North, and North is going to need to change some things up here in the second half, and that's going to mean going back to going inside out. They were doing that decently in the first quarter and in the second quarter, but then they missed some bunnies there. And as you see right there, excellent job by Blair to just get the rebound, but they need to continue attacking the zone and also getting as many things to basically prevent them from getting set. That's going to be huge for North in the first half, and for South, basically trying to prevent that, trying to get set on defense, and also just be patient on offense as well.
As Leo missed a couple buckets there, and it was
because they've had multiple offensive fouls on charges and that kind of stuff. They just got to be a little bit more patient on offense for South. But overall, not really much that you can critique for J.R. Holmes' squad in the first half. But for North, as I said, you need to attack that zone.
One thing Bloomington South does not do, they don't turn the ball over much, and there's Leo with the finish. He's got 12. Had 10 at half to lead all scores. There is J.Q. Roberts, the freshman, with the 3.
And that can also, I said, the thing about the 2-3 zone is that it fits so, is the way that it's shaped. You have to be able to, you gotta, as it stands, it's really hard to try to shoot over it. If you're sedentary, you have to mix it and make them basically break their own zone.
Noah Jager, and he's down hurt. Noah Jager is down hurt after getting that basket, and they need to stop play. And he's coming up limping. As you see, Jager took a hard fall. As the South students chanting Noah Jager's name. Tough kid. There you see Jason Spear. As
very tough, but also if I'm North, I go right at him right now because he still seems a little bit of a limp right there. And that's excellent defense right there from Joey Bamba.
Joey Bamba. As you see, Jeremiah Blair. Isaac Venzel with it, guarded by Jager.
Right there, that was a missed opportunity. Their defense was not set right there. Should have taken quick advantage of that.
Fiber to Steinfeld, to Roberts. Fiber gets Leo off his feet. Nice play in by Nick Fiber. Lead is cut to 7. James Bamba guarded by Steinfeld, missed it. Fiber with the rebound, now North's gonna push. Venzel, Blair posting up James Bamba, no good. Rebound Blair, loses it. South ball.
That's a situation where there's no need to dribble right there. You bringing the ball down creates more of an opportunity for turnover than just keeping it straight up and using your pivot foot.
Approaching 4.5 to go here in quarter number 3. Been a fast-moving game. Jager off the mark. Joey Bamba, the rebound missed. Second chance good for Joey Bamba's 4th point of the game. The lead is 9 now. Where North's got to get some stops defensively. Venzel loses it. His last touch by South, North ball. Blair to inbound, under 4 to go. J.Q. Roberts, Nick Fiber. Blair pokes away into the hands of James Bamba. Now Blair takes it away. Blair going right up James Bamba and he scores.
One thing you can definitively say about Blair, he is not afraid.
No, he's got 6 points so far. Connor Hickman misses. Ball is loose. South rebounds. Hickman wide open. Off the mark, Steinfeld the rebound. Here is Kleiber. That lead is 7. Both student sections on their feet. Last touch by Wenzel, South ball. Leo happy about that one. Wenzel not. Now we're going to see Tim Brewster back in for the first time since the first quarter, replacing J.Q. Roberts.
Brewster, a former starter. These are the kind of moments right now where he's in his senior season. Who knows, this might be the last time that he faces South. Right now, I would watch out for him as being an X factor here.
This could definitely be his time to shine. He's a senior, one of 4 seniors on this team, along with Blair, Hoffman, and Xavier Trueblood, who's not available tonight due to injury. South working the ball. Leal to the basket. Leo has 14. Lead is 9. Tim Brewster. Isaac Wenzel. Seems like this lead, they get within 7 and then South answers. Ball is poked around. Lossman loses it. Here comes South. Jager! Hickman alley-oop! What a play! And the South fans are going nuts. Timeout North. Full timeout for Bloomington North. And a standing ovation from the Bloomington South faithful. Connor Hickman, the junior.
Yeah. Add that to the highlight reel.
Absolutely. Connor Hickman, the junior. Mentioned looks from Dayton, Evansville, Bradley, and Furman. He's got one offer from Elon. He's a player. He's been a nice player for Bloomington South the last couple of years, and he's definitely, like you said, a three-point specialist.
Yeah, coming into the game, 26 of 49 from deep, and he's been making, and sometimes you can just hang your hat on that, but he is a more complete player than that, as he has shown throughout the game with some excellent defense and some excellent hops right there. And he had a couple other baskets as well. He has done an amazing job this game.
Yeah, 7 points so far for Hickman tonight, but definitely the play of the night with the alley-oop from Noah Jager. Second-ranked team in Class 4A is Bloomington South, behind Lawrence North. Jager, you can see Jager working, does a great job of running these offense.
Absolutely.
Like his older brothers did before him. Joey Bamba. No call. Leal for 3. No good. Loffman, Leal. Going to be a foul on Leal.
And that was a heads-up play by Leal, but he just didn't get the right angle on it and ended up hitting him right in the hand.
It's going to be 2.
But if I am Coach Holmes, I am okay with that. I like that aggressiveness.
Yeah, Leal definitely senior season, one of the top
also, by the way,
players.
that is the first foul this half.
Yeah, that's is amazing. 1:18 to go in the third quarter and 1 foul. That's why it's such a fast game. Now the South students with a little taunt for the North faithful. Of course, you expect nothing less than rivalry games. About a minute to go here. A 9-point lead for South, and the pace is definitely slowed down. become a half-court game. Wenzel 3. Off the mark, Leal rebound. Now it's Connor Hickman. Now J.R. Holmes tells Noah Jaeger, slow it down for one shot with 30 seconds to go. J.R. Holmes coached his 900th game last Saturday night against Evansville Central at South. 900 games. That's a lot of games.
I don't think I've watched 900 games in my life.
Don't think that I have either. I've watched a lot of games, but I don't know if I've watched that many. Leal tries to slam it over Brewster, and he does. They miss that shot, 40-27. Panthers lead, don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter next on Smithville Sports.
Whether you need an awesome wrap for your truck, a new look for your sports car, or simply some great window tinting, Van Horn has you covered. Need accessories like step bars, bug shields, or toolboxes? Or how about a neon clock for the garage or den? Van Horn can take care of it. With years of experience, Van Horn gives you the professional look with the quality you deserve. Stop by our shop in Ellettsville, the large building behind McDonald's, or give us a call at 812-876-2230. You can also visit our website at vanhorn1.com. Van Horn Tent and Accessories, the place for your custom vehicle needs.
As we welcome you back to Bloomington North, you see Jason Spear as his Cougars are down 40-27 against the South Panthers. Just a reminder, next week, our next game, Saturday, January 18th, Silver Creek, the #1 team in Class 3A and defending state champions, will be here at Bloomington North. We'll have that game for you. JV at 6, Varsity at 7:30. I've seen Silver Creek twice this year. They are one of the better teams in 3A. They beat Fort Wayne Blackhawk. Also saw them beat Jeffersonville. They are 10-1. They're playing Eastern Pekin tonight, Brownstown Central next Friday, and then, of course, up here against Bloomington North next week. A couple IU target and Trey Kaufman, who's a junior, Cooper Jacoby, who definitely gets a lot of looks, and then Brandon Northern, a sophomore, who will definitely get some interest from others from Division I teams. South North will be at Seymour tomorrow night and then host Martinsville here next Friday. Or host Martinsville, or at Martinsville next Friday. So here we go. This is crunch time for North. Now down 13 as we start the fourth.
And right now, they need to, like I said, they need to feed the post and go outside, inside, outside.
Brewster throws it into Blair. Wenzel. Blair 3. Gonna get called. Leal's gonna get called for the foul. That is 3 on Anthony Leal.
That's exactly the shot that you're looking for. Excellent job, Blair. That's an inside out where you have the post player then go right into the corner right there. I don't think South was prepared for that, and that's what led to the foul.
Jeremiah Blair at the line, hits the free throw. Just the third free throw attempt tonight by the Cougars. And he gets both of them to go, 3 of 4. J.Q. Roberts and Aaron Steinfeld are going to come in. Wenzel and Hoffman are going to go out. One more for Blair. He's fouled in the act of a three-point shot. He misses that one, and Hickman gets the board. Now it's going to be interesting to see how South handles this. Up 11. Jaeger, Leal loses it out of bounds. What I was going to say is, how does South keep control of the game with their pace and make North try to force a turnover?
I definitely see South wanting to bleed this clock out as much as possible whenever getting a chance.
because they are a very efficient team. They do not turn the ball over very much. There is Jeremiah Blair inside to Brewster. Brewster misses the layup, foul underneath, and it's going to go against South. Third team foul, that's going to go on James Bomba. That's his third. Now another foul on the Panthers. And
sometimes right now it just comes down to just making shots. The North has had some really good looks at the basket and just hasn't been making them. There's not really much more that they can do than just make the shots that they're given.
Jeremiah Blair at the line does not get that one to go. 4 fouls on South in this second half, no fouls on North. Blair misses both. James Bomba the rebound. Gets it to Noah Jager, and now he'll bring it up. Connor Hickman with it. Gonna get past Roberts and slams it home. Connor Hickman, second slam of the night.
And that one is much more impressive because the other one, you're going with a full head of steam and you have a ways to go. That was a 0 to 60. I see a lane, I'm going to dunk it. That was very impressive.
He will get more Division I offers with his play. He's got 9 points. Under 6 minutes to go now. Blair off the mark. Roberts the rebound. Gets it to Clyburn to Brewster. Brewster guarded by Hickman. He gets fouled. And that's 4 on Hickman. So 6 fouls for South. Brewster at the line, the senior. He gets his first points of the night. They're going to put Maddox Blackwell back in the game for Bloomington South.
And Leo taken out of the game.
Leo is also on the bench as Brewster hits both. I have a feeling he won't be out for long. Jager with the ball. Joey Bomba, blocked by Brewster. Bomba gets it back. Reverse it, good job. Hickman 3. Off the top of the basket. They're going to wave that off. They're going to say that's out of bounds. So 11-point lead for South. Approaching 5 minutes to go. Steinfeld gets the bucket, hits 5th point of the night.
That's the kind of basket that North has needed in this game. And they've had the looks. That's just the first one to fall since the first quarter, though.
J.R. Holmes with a 30-second timeout. While we have a quick minute, we want to thank our crew, the hardworking women and men behind the scenes. Sam Malloy, Noah Barajas, Jeremy Nutter on the cameras, Rob Ramsey, our technical director, Catherine Jankowski doing replays, Annette Bruner, you and I doing commentary. We thank them for all their hard work and everything they do throughout the season. It's been a great one tonight here with the rivalries between these two schools. Your third taste of this rivalry. Anything stand out from the previous two?
It's always an experience, and I definitely feel that this has been a game where South has kind of kept the lid on North. We've had games before where both North and South were able to like trade punches like that. There's still enough time for North to make a run here, but how South has kind of dominated kind of the crowd feeling in this game.
50-50 crowd both ways. It's a sold-out house tonight, standing room only.
And again, that's probably some of that is that we are literally located right next to the South student section.
As we're getting ready to, about 4:20 to go here. And you can just tell now that South is just controlling the tempo. J.R. Holmes is just wanting to move the basketball as much as possible and either make North foul you or make you try to get a turnover. And you can just tell he's putting the one finger up saying, I just want one shot. But now it's an errant pass by James Baum, but Blackwell recovers it. Gets it to Hickman. Back to Jager. Jager gonna get fouled as he goes to the line.
Almost a minute run off on that possession.
That is gonna be, it's on Nick Kleiber. That's the team's first. It's gonna send Noah Jager to the line. The Indiana Junior All-Star last year, headed to West Point next season. He misses that free throw. Isaac Venzel back in. Jager's older brother, Johnny, was a walk-on at IU, and now he's a grad assistant for Archie Miller's team. And Jager misses both. Venzel. Alley-oop, Brewster!
There's that, I told you that spark right there. That was amazing. He was at least 11 and a half feet in the air.
That was out of nowhere. It was just, Venzel's like, I'll just throw it up there, and Brewster just came out of nowhere and threw it down.
I've seen that before in a slam dunk contest, but never in a game.
Definitely some highlight reel dunks tonight in both the JV and the varsity.
And more importantly, it has gotten, as I said, the South has kind of controlled the atmosphere. North now has the atmosphere.
Jager, offensive foul. Seventh. Now Leal is back in and Maddox Blackwell is out. Going to clean up the moisture from the floor.
And also worth noting that North is now in the bonus.
And 2:47 to go here. Kleiber's got it. It's that 7-point lead right now for South. It's where can North get over this hump? Can they get a basket here? Steinfeld. No. Kleiber. And one. Fouled by Leal.
See, that's the one downside to taking your foot off the gas, like Coach Holmes had his team do in this quarter, is that.
And they're saying Leal's got 5 fouls that he's fouled out. So Maddox Blackwell is back in. That is huge.
Yeah, that is an absolute backbreaker right now. And as I was saying, Coach Holmes having them kind of bleed out the clock. The downside to that is that it just takes one spark. for the opposing team. You're betting against that one spark from happening, that your team is disciplined enough.
So JR,
And they just forgot about Brewster on the sideline. He created that spark, and a fire has come out here.
So JR
Cougar
Holmes
Den
calls the timeout. Well, we can't help but mention in this rivalry, there have been so many guys that have played in this rivalry for both teams. You look at the Indiana All-Stars from Bloomington North, Terry Stotts, who now is the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, played at Oklahoma in '76. Dwayne in 1995 played in the Final Four for Wisconsin. Jabril Conte in 1998. Quint Dwayne in 1998, who went to Syracuse and won the national championship in '03 with Carmelo Anthony. Jared Jeffries, 2000 Mr. Basketball, played at IU. Sean May, 2002 Mr. Basketball, played at North Carolina, won a national championship. Eric Soar, who's now the colored commentator for the IU Radio Network with Don Fisher, was a walk-on and earned a scholarship to the Hoosiers. Bill Delaney went to Eastern Illinois, and then Julian Boatner and William and Mary. For South, they've had guys like Eric Fromm, who went to Butler, Darwin D. Davis, who started his career at North and then went to South, went to Xavier. Chance Coyle at Southern Indiana. Jordan Halls, who went to IU. Cole Holmstrom, Indiana State. John Holmes, JR's son, at North Carolina. Kyle Hankins went to Morehead State, and on and on and on. A lot of guys have come through this game.
Right now, Noah Jager is needs to be the man to help put this game away now. With Leo being fouled out, responsibility is on him to carry this one home.
That is going to be 3 on Marco Fitch, team's third.
Yeah, North has a lot of fouls they need to burn through to put them at the line.
And they're going to start burning him through there, as that is on. Going to give it to Brewster. That's his first, team fourth. Jager. They're going to call Jager offensive foul against Marco Fitch. Wow.
Frustration foul. Fitch just getting under his skin.
They're going to put Blair and Steinfeld in, and Robertson and Fitch are going out. As you see the North student section going up and down. They have definitely got the momentum right now.
That's the thing.
2 minutes to go here.
It's up to the South crowd basically to kind of fight back now. The North crowd.
Maddox Blackwell with the block on Steinfeld. Wenzel with the foul. Blackwell just an errant, bad throw. Tried to throw it to Hickman, and he just threw it out of bounds.
Very uncharacteristic South turnover.
Full timeout. A minute 48 to go here.
And there's only one timeout left for Coach Spear.
As you see the both student sections on on high alert.
We knew, as I was saying into this game, this is the most even match that we have seen of them in our 3 times right there. And thanks to a spark from Tim Brewster, the crowd has become alive and has also caused South to tighten up a little bit. And now we have ourselves a game right here.
Yeah, 5-point lead for South, minute 48 to go. North has not won a game in this series since the 2013-14 season, where they won both the sectional and regular season matchup.
If I recall, that was also the last time they beat them in football, and you know what happened earlier this season.
Very true. So South has controlled this series with 9 straight wins. They lead the all-time series 49-27.
I believe that is correct, right? That was the last time that they beat them in football as well, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Momentum switching, though. Cougars down 5, minute 38 to go here. Kleiber, jumper over James Bomba, no good, and Bomba with the rebound. And that's going to be on Jeremiah Blair, and that's his fourth. Now this is going to be Cody Doig back in the game, replacing James Bomba. Marco Fitch and Aaron Steinfeld. J.Q. Roberts coming in, replacing Steinfeld, and Fitch replacing Blair.
Last couple of inbound passes have not been good.
This is Cody Doig, and he gets fouled. Now, South will finally be in the 1-and-1.
And just as I said, that excellent job by Joey Bomba to find Doig for that one.
So it's going to be on J.Q. Roberts, his second. And we're going to see the offense for defense substitutions. So Cody Doig at the line. 6'2" senior, not scored yet tonight. Big free throw, and he misses. Panthers 0-3 in the quarter on free throws. Norris got to get a good look. Steinfeld going against Joey Bomba, and he gets it. Lead is now 3. It's going to be a foul. It's like it's Isaac Venzel. And now it's Noah Jager at the line. James Bomba back in. Going to replace Doig.
These are your senior moment right now. Jager with very crucial free throws. And if I'm South, probably the person I trust most at the line right now.
Noah Jager, the senior. Free throw is no good. He's 0-3. Panthers 0-4 in the
Very
quarter.
uncharacteristic game.
Very uncharacteristic indeed. Jager's an excellent free throw shooter. Less than a minute to go. 3 timeouts for South, 1 for North. Brewster, Kleiber, going to try to draw contact, a lot of contact. They're going to call the foul on South. They're going to call it on Maddox Blackwell, his first. Team's 10th, so now North 2 shots from here on out. It's going to be Jeremiah Blair at the line. No good. He's missed 4 straight. Cougars are 4 for 9 on the foul line in the fourth quarter. So the free throw bug has bit both teams. Blair missed both. Battled around for it. Who has it? Jump ball, possession arrow with South.
Yeah, and Venzel was trying to call that last timeout. Probably for the best right now. Would rather probably keep that timeout in your pocket right now.
So we got.
And Holmes is calling a timeout now.
J.R. Holmes calling a timeout.
He has 2 left. Spear has 1 left.
So 2 more for South, 1 more for North. But what a wild game this has been. South was in control.
North pulling us South. I thought this was a blowout. All of a sudden, now it's a one-possession game.
14-12 after the first quarter, then 28-18.5, and then 40-27 at the end of 3. And now it has been a 12-2 run for North in the fourth quarter.
And the problem is that ever since Leal went out, the offense has just kind of hasn't really found an identity. Granted, that has a lot to do with North either creating turnovers or basically fouling them to basically prevent any kind of rhythm whatsoever. So right now, it's basically going to come down to making free throws, because North will not allow South to get into an offensive rhythm because they know that they're just going to bleed clock. They're not afraid to do that.
And the only two for South in that fourth quarter was the Hickman alley-oop, or the Hickman taking it to the hole for the slam. So here we go. The clock is a little late to get started. Joey Bama, they got to get it across, and now it's Cody Doig underneath. Off-balance shot, and he missed it. And a foul on Doig. Doig is just kind of off balance, kind of tried to move in midair, and he missed it.
A little bit of a hesitation, like, should I shoot or should I not?
So a miss for Doig, and now it's Isaac Venzel at the line. First one is good. James Bamba back in, Cody Doig out. One more as Venzel ties his shoe. Now Isaac, they're going to call a delay of game warning on North for Venzel tying his shoe. That's interesting. He hits them both. Lead is within one now. And here comes the pressure from North. Hickman gonna get fouled by Fitch. So Connor Hickman at the line. Fitch has 4. It's gonna be offense for defense. Steinfeld, Blair back in. Fitch and Roberts out, and then it's gonna be Maddox Blackwell, who's replacing 21 Jalen Peck, who just came into the game.
Yeah, Hickman has been the star here for South in the second half. Let's see if he can help put them up 3.
Hickman hits. One more for Connor. He's in double digits. And he gets them both. 44-41. Kleiber's going to call the timeout.
And see what I mean? See what I said earlier, that when Venzel dove for the ball and tried to use that timeout and they called a jump ball, I told you that one timeout still in the pocket is going to come in handy, and here it is right now.
So we got 10.3 left to go, or 18.3 left to go. It's hard to see the clock from our vantage point, but 18.3 left to go. North ball down 3. Who's it going to? Isaac Venzel?
Venzel is would be the preferred answer, but I think right now you just try to get the open man right now, and I think you go for 3. You go for the tie right now. Don't try to trade right now. 2 and 1. But at the same time, don't try to just force one up. Try to take the first 3 that you're able to find space with. Otherwise, if it's taking a little while, the longer you wait, the more that it needs to be a 3, basically.
As you see the North students jumping up and down, this has been an electric atmosphere, as it always is every year. Again, 4.5 miles separate these two teams. North looking for their first win in this series since 2014. Kleiber.
They're going to hold for one shot.
Trying to get separation. Brewster throws it up. It's short. Connor Hickman comes away with it. It's going to be a foul. And South is going to pull this out.
I think South got a piece of that as well. I think the way that ball went up, I think it was partially blocked.
Now JR is going to call a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout with a 1.8.
And it's important to note that it is now the double bonus, so have to miss both basically for North to have a shot.
See the huddle for Bloomington North. And Anthony Leals fouled out of this game. 16 points tonight for the IU signee. You see some of the sold out crowd starting to head for the exits. Connor Hickman at the line for 2 shots. He misses it.
Just needs to make one though, and the game is basically over.
Now they're going to put Nate Tuhill in for Jeremiah Blair. Tuhill can shoot the 3. Hickman, that's short. Tapped and it's into Hickman's hands. He puts it up, no good, but it doesn't matter. South wins 44-41 and keeps a stranglehold on this series now. 50 wins to 27. As we look at the highlights, J.Q. Roberts, a freshman, with the bucket. Noah Jager goes down hard but scores. Kleiber, nice layup. Jeremiah Blair, a lot of contact in the bucket. Anthony Leal, the IU signee, 16 points tonight. Noah Jager, the alley-oop to Connor Hickman. Leal with the slam over Tim Brewster, and then look at this. Connor Hickman flies through and gets the slam. And then the nice bounce for South. Aaron Steinfeld gets the 2. And then the alley-oop for Brewster, that came out of nowhere. Noah Jager scores. Nick Kleiber inside, and then that's going to do it. Bloomington South 44, Bloomington North 41. For all the hardworking men and women behind the scenes, for my partner, Corinne Saturday, another great one. I am Nick Jenkinson. Thank you for watching, and good night from Bloomington North.